I had the opportunity to work with Lotus Riche and her team to create a promo video for my business. And let me tell you, she and her team are pretty darn outstanding. I had recorded a video that we were going to use in the promo. And during our meeting, they actually walked me through what worked in the video, and they provided suggestions for improving the video so that I can actually capture the audience and the clients that I want and the people that need my services. They actually told me what I could add to the video and how to set the entire thing up so that when people watch that promo, they will come away knowing who I am, what I do, and why they should contact me. So if you have the chance to work with Lotus Riche and her team, you are not going to be disappointed.
Hello, and welcome to 15 Minutes of Success. This is Dr. Lotus Riche, your girl around the way. I've got something to say with a wonderful guest today, Mr. Robert Hanna, all the way fresh in from the UK. So I want to tell you a little bit about who he is and what we're going to be talking about today on our 15 Minutes of Success. I get the wonderful opportunity to sit here and talk with this amazing content creator, this global broadcast or podcast speaker, and guess what? he's going to give us some training today. So get your notepads and get your pen and come on in, because I always say, even on my other show, note takers are money makers and note takers are change makers. But you can't make changes if you don't take notes and you don't apply them. So with no further ado, we're going to play this short clip for you, and we're coming back with this global podcaster, speaker, trainer, entrepreneur that's going to help you ignite and take flight in the success area of your life. We'll be right back with this amazing guy all the way from UK, Mr. Robert Hanna. We'll be right back. All right, let's go. Here's a word from one of our sponsors.
I'm talking to you. Are you juggling your family, your business, your career, and your health? Afraid that if just one ball drops to the ground, everything could fall apart because everybody's looking at you. You're stressed and overwhelmed. You're looking for answers, for help that's real help, for solutions. I have Vibrant Life Solutions that can help you. I am Hillary Gooden, the Vibrant Life Coach, author, speaker, lymphologist, and pastor. I empower busy women leaders with strategies to reduce stress and anxiety while increasing energy, clarity of mind, better sleep, better health, and vitality. Oh yeah, and boost your immunity. If you're ready for that, you say, I need that in my life right now. Let's connect. You can reach me at www.hillarygooden.com. You can direct message me on Facebook or LinkedIn at Hillary Gooden. Or else if you would like to get on a free 20-minute strategy call, a clarity call, go to bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. That's bit.ly/Hillary Gooden. I absolutely believe you got the power to help your body, help you live a more vibrant life.
Hello and welcome back. This is your girl, Dr. Lotus Riche. Please meet my guest all the way from the UK, Mr. Robert Hanna. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Lotus, how are you?
I am doing great, and it's so great to see you today. Thank you for coming here, being with us. I know you're a super awesome global podcaster. I know you're an entrepreneur in your own right. You dabble a little bit in finances, but most importantly, you're here with us today, and you're going to be talking to us on our topic of 15-minute success with Robert Hanna. And so today I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out, joining the show. And Robert and I are going to take a couple of minutes to share this broadcast with everyone we know, and we ask that you also share this with people that you know. So we're going to give you 30 seconds. Robert, are you ready to take our 30 seconds to share this with the folks?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so we're going to give you 30 seconds. Please go ahead and share this broadcast, and we'll be right back with you for his tips. He's got some secret sauce to share with you and people you know. Thank you for joining the show. Go ahead and share it with everybody you know that we've got Robert Hanna all the way from the UK, and we want to hear what he's got to say. So get your notepad and get your pen and come on in. Share this broadcast with a loved one, a friend, and even a frenemy as we get ready to share 15 minutes of success. Here goes. All right. And so Robert and I were sharing this broadcast across multiple groups all around the world, and you can too. And don't forget, if you have any questions for Robert, put him in the hot seat today. I don't think he'll mind at all. So Robert, super happy to have you here for 15 minutes of success. And to all of our viewers all around the world, we want to thank you for joining the show. And so Robert, let's get right into it, and let's talk about the 15 minutes of success. But before we do that, I've introduced you. I've told our viewers a little bit about you, but I'd like for you to take this opportunity and share with them too.
Well, firstly, Lotus, can I say it's an absolute pleasure and honor to be on your show, and absolutely everything you're doing, your community, everything you've built is absolutely fabulous. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a recruitment business founder and entrepreneur. I've built and scaled multi-million-pound revenue generating teams. I'm also a strategic advisor and investor to recruitment startups. I help specialized qualified lawyers secure their dream jobs globally. I'm also an active connector, and you very kindly mentioned content creator. I was recently listed as a LinkedIn top 100 rising star and sit in the top 1% of the industry for the platform. I also host a world-leading legally speaking podcast, which is in the top 2.5% of all podcasts globally, where we remove the bore from law and turn that into educational, entertaining content, where we posted celebrities, top entrepreneurs, international policymakers, and lots more. And I'm interested and passionate about disrupting the recruitment industry to ensure recruiters add more value to candidates and clients. We're embracing tech, AI, and kindness, highlighted by remembering the importance of community over commodity. So I hope that gives you an intro on me.
Yes, it does. Wow. And so with that being said, definitely share this broadcast. We're going to give you guys some tips today that's going to help you with your 15 minutes of success. And we're getting right into it. And the first tip we're going to talk about is people. Robert, take it away. Let's talk about people. Why are people so important when it comes to success?
Absolutely, Lotus. I'm a big advocate for this. Whether you're trying to launch a podcast, whether you're trying to start a business, whether you're trying to build on a skill set, it's impossible to do everything by yourself. So what you have to do is build up an army of people around you that can help you. Know where your strengths are and double down on your strengths, but have people around you who can support you or add value to you in the areas that you're weak. So if you're thinking of starting a business solo, that's absolutely fine. But you need to think of people or have people within your network who can help you. I'm a big advocate for mentors. Myself, throughout my whole career, I have had mentors, people who have been down the path, who have been more successful than I at my stage of my career. Why? Because they can point me in the direction. They can give me guidance. They can save me hours of pain. I can go through things myself, but actually they can give me that strategic insight because they're talking from experience. So tip number one is ensure that you have the right people to support you, help develop and nurture you, and also push and inspire you. So I'm a massive advocate of having the right people to help you succeed, because you can go far alone, but you can go further together with the right team with you.
I love that. And I was muted because I was back here going, yes, yes. Because I always say, Robert, that great mentors need great mentors. And a lot of times people don't know how to seek out mentors, or sometimes they feel like, well, I'm going to have to pay this person too much money to mentor me. Oh my God, I'm so afraid. And so what I tell people is, you know, you never know until you ask. You have to ask, because that person who's doing what you're doing or what you want to do, they've been where you are. And because they've been where you are, they understand some of the fears of not, you know, wanting to ask somebody, hey, can you teach me this, or can you show me this, or can you mentor me? But Robert, I want to ask you, how many people have you had to tap on the shoulder to say, hey, I want to know how you did what you did. Can you show me?
I don't think I can count on my hands how many people I've asked. And I still think I should have asked more. I think the biggest weakness people have is actually asking for help and not knowing when to ask for help. Yes. Like you rightly said, you don't know unless you ask the question. And now there's strategic ways you can start a relationship, and you can go in with adding value first and building a relationship, warming it up. But yes, I have countlessly asked time and time and time again, because I'm curious. I'm curious to find the answers. I need to find and problem solve. And the best way to do that is to find talented people that I can bring into my world who are going to help me. So the honest answer is countless. The additional answer is I should have asked even more people.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. And so for me, I've had opportunities to ask people, and yeah, just like anybody else, I was a little afraid to ask. But what I learned when I asked is that people were really receptive because I asked. But a lot of times before I asked, I did my homework on that person. I found out what made them superior in what they're doing. And when I found out what made them superior and it was what I wanted to do or what I was already doing, I reached out to them. And here's another thing, transparency. You gotta have transparency, in my opinion. So what would you say about transparency?
Yeah, absolutely. But I love your point you mentioned there, because you've taken an interest in that individual. You're finding commonality. You're trying to build rapport. You're showing that you've researched. You're showing a real interest in why you want to have them in your community or part of your world to help you in your career. And so if you do that, then there's no harm in being transparent and saying, look, I know you've done this, and this. I see we have these level of relationships, these common interests. And listen, folks, flattery gets you everywhere. If you do it in the right format, people will engage with you. If you treat people as just another number and you don't invest into that relationship, they won't bite. But if you treat them and make them feel special and valued, they will come to you. And then you can be as transparent as you like, and people will want to respond to you accordingly. So, for example, if people come to me and they just send me a very cold, generic message, hey, can you help me with this, or can you do that? It doesn't tell me anything. It's just like a mass message. There's nothing that makes me feel special, makes me want to engage with that individual. So when you're thinking of finding people, then like Lotus was saying and I was saying, really do some research, some homework. Pull on some strings. Where can you build that outcome? Where can you build that rapport? And then you'll get a better response rate and you'll get better quality relationships.
And that's so true. And you know, I have a mentor, and he shared with me, Charles Marcus. He's talked for various companies all around the world, and he shared with me, he said, you know, Lotus, I was really impressed with the way that you knew so much about me. You really did your research on me.
Yeah.
And to have him say that, it really blessed me, because he understood that I wanted to know enough about what he's doing and how to be brilliant like he is. I took the time to deep dive, and I was very transparent with him about my deep dive, because I thought it was really critical. Because after all, I say it all the time, we've got to be strategic when we build relationships, but of course, great mentors need great mentors, and we've got to have that support, not just from our friends and family, but mentors who are already in the business. So that's great. Thank you so much. And so we're going to go right into infrastructure. Rob, let's talk to him about infrastructure and why is that so important in success.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel you need to have the foundation, like your career, like the business. It's the same as building a house.
Yes.
You can't just put the roof on with the wrong foundation. You've got to dig the ground out. You've got to get it in the right setting. You've got to put it in the right location. You've got to put the right materials in. You've got to know the right people to put those materials in at the right time. So the worst thing you can do is try and be scattergun and not have the right infrastructure. Now, that doesn't need to be super complicated, because we're in a digital world now where there's so many AI and tech tools that you can use to really automate and make sure you have the right infrastructure in place. So when it comes to a podcast, you need to make sure you have the right equipment, you're on the right hosting platform, you have the right social media channels of distribution, you have the right producer, you have the right editor. So when it comes to a business, you want to make sure you've got the right lawyers looking over your documents to make sure they're sound. You want to make sure you've got the right accountants that can make you run as tax efficient as possible. You want to make sure you've got the best recruiters that can give you access to talent. So I'm a big advocate of having the right infrastructure connected to your career or connected to the business or whatever you're trying to grow and scale, because you can't, unfortunately, grow or scale without infrastructure. So if you get the right systems, processes, and operations in, then you can scale and you can be highly, highly successful. So invest in infrastructure from the start and continuously look at how you can improve your infrastructure, and you can tweak and get more and more efficiencies, and you'll be successful.
Awesome. I like that. And I hope, folks, you're writing this down, because people pay thousands of dollars to get this type of information. But always with the Lotus Riche Ignites and Lotus Riche Coaching and Consulting, we always come and bring value, because we want to give you the value that you need so you can move into the direction that you're trying to move into, to make the money, to pay out the big bucks as you're able. So this is why we're giving you these 15 minutes of success, to help you help yourself be successful. So I love that. Infrastructure is critical. When I first really started getting into the shows and stuff like that, I didn't have anybody really talking to me, Rob, about infrastructure and why it was so critical. And so, folks, if you are just joining the show just now, this is my guest, Mr. Robert Hanna. He is, like, I'm going to call him the guru. I don't care what nobody says. He is the guru to me, okay? He's a speaker. He's a content creator. He's a global podcaster, and he's here with me today as we discuss 15 minutes of success. And thus far, we have already discussed why it's important to have the right people around you. And then we just talked about infrastructure. Now, if you're a business owner or even an influencer, and you've never heard of having the right infrastructure, put in number 2 in the comment below. And if you have heard of infrastructure and you're using it properly in your business, put in number 3 in the comment below. And so now we're going to talk about personal brand. So Rob, why is it so important for people to zero in on their personal brand and get it right the first time if they're able to? And I say that because a lot of times when we first come into business, a lot of us, we don't get the branding essence of it correct the first time. Rob?
So important. And I think, your biggest asset is you. Everyone is different. There's only one of you on this world. There's only one of you on this planet. And so you have the opportunity to build a personal brand. We are now coming off the back of going through tough times with a global pandemic. We've never, ever been more online. So if you increase your personal brand and increase your visibility, that will lead to increasing your credibility, and that will lead to more conversations, which ultimately will lead to more discussions and potential deals or business opportunities for you. Now, what do you need to do? I always say ABA. Always be authentic. We are in the era now of imperfect is the new perfect. Nobody wants to work with somebody they don't know, like, and trust. So actually showing some vulnerability, some storytelling, things that you've learned throughout your career that you can pass down to other generations, lessons you've learned, things that you're doing, your aspirations, and how that's going to help people within the world that you are trying to influence. Now has never been a more beneficial time to get your personal brand out there and be omnipresent. Why? Because you can go on a podcast. That's great for your personal brand. You can then chop up that content into some infographics. You can repurpose that on other social media platforms. You can go to Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. So having a personal brand allows you to also be omnipresent on multiple social media platforms, which, guess what, folks, are all free. You are missing out on free advertising day in, day out if you're not putting your business brand out there. So take the opportunity and build it. But just remember, always be yourself. Always be yourself. Don't try and mimic other people. Don't try and be a Gary Vee overnight and think that's going to happen. Learn from him, but then implement and be yourself. But I'm a big advocate, and it's your insurance policy. People do with people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So even if your first business fails, that doesn't matter, because they're still going to come to Rob Hanna and his personal brand. Or if you want to move jobs, the more you're known in that industry, the more attractive you're going to be to prospective employers. Because it's like, hey, I know Joan, and they've got a strong reputation in the auto dealing space, for example. It's going to increase your chances, your opportunities, and people are going to come to you. So the bigger your personal brand, the more opportunities will come your way. Massive advocate for embracing it.
Awesome.
If
And
you're not
I love
visible
that.
nowadays, you're
Yes.
invisible.
And I love that you said the know, like, and trust thing.
Yeah.
And always be authentic, you know. And I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee.
Please do.
Well, it's actually not coffee. It's actually dandelion root and a couple other roots. It's not coffee, but it tastes like coffee. It's phenomenal. So I stopped drinking coffee because of this. It's more healthier for me. So I wanted to, and that's a part of authenticity. A lot of times people say, "Well, I'm not gonna sip anything, or I'm not gonna wear a suit jacket, or I am gonna wear a suit jacket." Some of my shows I wear a suit jacket. Some of my shows I don't wear a suit jacket. Some of my shows I might wear a necklace. Some of my shows I don't wear anything. But just be authentic, because it's all you. It's all you. Whether you dress up or you dress down, your message has to be consistent, and it has to be the same. It has to be an authentic message, and people who know, like, and trust you will do business with you. And like, I love that you said your biggest asset is you.
Yes.
Because after all, when everything else goes away, all you have is you. You have your word, you have your character, you have, again, the KLT. Like I like to, you know, shorten it out. It's the know, like, and trust. And so with that being said, I want to jump right up to the focus on community, because folks, we're supposed to only be here 15 minutes, right? But we're giving you some gusto. So the focus on community. Let's talk about the focus on community. What's that all about, Rob?
Yeah, and this builds on very nicely from personal brand, because once you've built your personal brand and you're out there, you're drawing people in. And what are you doing? You're building an authentic, long-term, loyal community. Nowadays, what you do not want to do as a business is build a database. Yes, data is king or queen, and we're in a data-driven economy, and data is a powerhouse, but you want that data to become a community. And what I mean by that is, the better you actually produce content, you will build a community, and that will allow you to refer people. They'll be loyal to you. They will be speaking about you when you're not in the room, because the best thing you're doing with community is building up a reputation. Knowing if you have a strong reputation is when your community is talking about you when you're not in the room. That's your best marketing. That's your best form of promotions. And so the best way to do that is fuel that community with valuable content, engage with that community, have lives like today. Great. You know, Lotus is filling her community with value. Week in, week out, she's turning up with 15 minutes of success with X, Y, and Z. You're learning from these people. She's selflessly giving. And as a result of that, she's building a community because people are getting value from her. So then Lotus is going to be top of mind for when it comes to, hey, we need some digital transformation strategy advice, or we need access to these entrepreneurs, or we need whatever it is. And then people are going to go straight to Lotus because she's giving. And the community will come back to you. But here's the thing, this does not happen overnight. Communities are not built, you know, Rome was not built in a day. You have to be consistent. You have to show up. You have to engage. You have to be part of it. You have to be accessible. People want to talk to people. They want to be accessible. They feel like they know you. So communities will help you tremendously with scaling, being more visible, and looking after you in the long term in terms of client leads, opportunities, and deals.
All right, I love that. And so remember, you know, you've got to be visible. You've got to be able to do the scaling process. And again, provide content. Provide great, valuable content. Because the value is why many people come and follow you and want to be a part of your movement. Because after all, it is a movement when you create the community.
And
you're no longer a one-trepreneur. That's right.
And that's so important. And you mentioned in my introduction, I said community over commodity. Because historically, lots of businesses and people have treated people as just commodities, not as people and humans. Now, we're in this world where people want to feel like they are valued, like they do have a voice. And that's why it's important. You have to have engagement with the community. Be that live, be that webinar, be that podcast, be that whatever it might be, events. You have to engage with the community so they feel part of it, so they want to come and have a piece of you.
Exactly. And so while we're talking about engagement. Let's engage with some of our viewers all around the world. Hi, Shirley Murphy. Shirley Murphy is coming in from Nigeria, Africa. We're happy to see you here. And if you're loving what we're sharing so far, folks, go ahead and put a 10. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 in the comment block below. And so Miss Sarah Beth is here. How you doing? She's coming in from the Philippines. Happy to have you here. Shirley Murphy says this is awesome information. So we are super happy to have you. And she also said right infrastructure for success. That's correct. And Scarlett says, hey, I'm here from France. We're happy to have you here. Happy to know you. And Miss Karen Shimatsu, she's coming in all the way from Hawaii. We're happy to have you here. And Pastor Dorothy Mae Ross is here. She said Porch Talk Live Worldwide in the house. We'd love to have you here. And Angela Elton is joining us all the way from Washington, D.C. We're happy to have you here as well. And Shirley said, being authentic is the key, because here's the thing. When you're not authentic, people can see right through you. And so, here we go. Dorothy Mae Ross said, my tagline, the conversation begins when you start being yourself. Yes, that's right. And consistency. I love that. And guess what, Rob? We've got some folks shooting some 10s in there. They're loving what we're saying, loving what we're sharing. And so guess what? I'm going to ask you to help us share this too as we begin to wrap this thing up. We still want people to come on in. So you got 30 seconds. Let's begin. We are having a great time here sharing wonderful, quality, valuable information to you, and we want to share it with people you know too. So go ahead and tag somebody and have them come on in. And oh, by the way, for our folks who's going to hit the replay, we are happy that you are here today. Make sure you share this broadcast with someone else that's coming your way. We'll be right back with Mr. Robert Hanna. Hey, we're back. Hey. All right.
I love your community and what everyone was saying. Like,
yes.
so great to meet you all. So thanks so much for tuning in.
All right. Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. And we talked about focusing on community. And for some of you that are just coming in, I have the esteemed pleasure to have my wonderful guest, Mr. Robert Hanna. He's a content creator. He's a global podcaster. He's a speaker. I say he's a trainer. He's a guru. And he said so many different things that he's doing to help people globally to have more than just 15 minutes of success, but to have sustainable success. As we talk about our topic today, 15 minutes of success with Robert Hanna, all the way live from the UK. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining the show, and thank you for those of you that's going to hit the replay. And so today we've talked about so many tantalizing, thought-teasing topics that promote 15 minutes of success. You know, you've always got to show up. You've got to do your best. You've got to really embrace people, have the right people around you so that you have great strategies to get where you're going. We always say great mentors need great mentors. You have to have optimal infrastructure. You have to know about your personal brand. You have to focus on community. And we just jumped into our community and we said, hey, how you doing? And make sure you share this broadcast. And the final question of the broadcast is this one right here. Let's talk about brilliance, resilience, and brilliance, because I always say you have brilliance inside you. So Robert said, guess what? We're going to talk about resilience is brilliance. So Robert, let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely, Lotus. So resilience is your brilliance, okay? Nothing in life worth having is easy. It's just not. Running a business, keeping relationships together, whatever, achieving your goals, trying to be the best at something, trying to help out family, friends, and everything else. But the biggest thing you can do is be resilient and not give up. Okay? Now, I want to send this message to everybody, you know, because it can get overwhelming when you hear speakers and you hear all of these statistics and you hear all of these titles and you can get overwhelmed in life. I'm just a normal human. I have my own struggles in life. I have my own battles in life, but my resilience is my brilliance. And so you have to have the right people around you that we talked about before that can help inspire you and look after you when you have those high moments, but also when you have those low moments. So I'm a big advocate of having a concrete mindset, big advocate of digital detoxes from time to time. practicing gratitude, because once you practice gratitude, you actually realize that life is pretty damn good. If you're tuning in today, you're privileged. You've got an internet connection. You're probably in a home. You have water, electricity, a lot more than most people in this world have. Practicing gratitude is so, so important. But resilience is your brilliance. And one of my mentors said to me, stay in the game. If you never give up, you can't lose. So I just want to leave you with that message. If you never give up, you can't lose. And remember, there's no such thing as failure. There's just feedback. And your resilience is your brilliance.
Yes. I love that you said, if you don't give up, you can't lose. Many people, especially when the pandemic hit, they wanted to give up.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who felt like they did give up and then they found themselves getting back on the horse of success and riding it to really achieve their best life?
Well, I commend people who have done that. So I think it takes a lot of grit, it takes a lot of determination, and it takes a lot of personal, willpower. So I feel like if you're not quite at that position at the moment where you are feeling quite overwhelmed, or you're quite stressed, you're anxious, you're worried, there's a lot of things. There's still a lot of uncertainties, and the only thing that is certain is uncertainty in the current world. I would say this: take a step back. Actually think about what you have achieved, what you do have in your life, and really, really be grateful for that. Just take 10 minutes out of your day, take some deep breaths, and actually think, okay, what have I achieved and what do I have? And once you actually strip things back and realize what's important to you, for myself, it's my health, it's my happiness, and it's my dearly loved people in my life. Everything else is a bonus. But I would just encourage you to write that down and be grateful for what you have, and then think about how you can achieve your ambitious goals. And we've talked about those 5 tips today on how you can execute those goals and make that happen. But start with where you are now. And if you're not happy where you are, there's some tips there to get you on. But just remember, if you're going through something right now, the likelihood is there's many others too. So I'd actually share that experience. I would storytell. It would be part of your personal brand. But what the key point of actually that is storytelling and the learnings and how you're getting through it, or how you did improve. Because people don't want you just to sort of talk about everything that's going wrong, but you want to storytell on how you've made it better, or how you're going to be making it better. So then you can help educate others who might be going through the pain that you're going through now. So I hope that helps.
I think it was amazing, and I'm gonna say this, is that people, from a personal aspect, I had to learn that I had to tell my story, because my story was my power, and it still is my power. And it's only when I started telling my true story, the story I was ashamed of telling, that is when, I was doing great, Rob, but when I really told my story that was hurtful, that was painful, that was shameful, that's when I really started seeing an even more enormous transition in people's lives. So we invite you to tell your story, be visible. You need to know that your resilience is your brilliance, and gratitude is the best form of attitude. And if you don't give up, you can't lose. And so with no further ado, we're going to jump right to a quick message, and then we're going to come back to you. And I see people jumping in solutions. My resilience is my brilliance. Absolutely. And so then we're going to come back and give you some final words of wisdom. Why? Because we don't want to leave you out without a doubt, without final words of wisdom. So we'll be right back, and we're going to final words of wisdom right to Mr. Rob himself. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching the show. And remember, always follow us on Facebook. Like and share, and make sure you tag a friend and let them know that you care. Let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present for you. All All right, and we're back with my sensational guest for 15 minutes of success with Robert, Hanna, and of course, your host, Dr. Lotus Riche. Robert, I just want to thank you for being here today. You've been amazing. Thank you for sharing the tips, and thank you for even staying a little longer than we intended, because we always want to reach out to our communities globally and share this message for each and every one of you. And so, with no further ado, I want to invite each and every one of you to connect with my friend Rob. Go to his link tree at www.linktree/KC Partners LinkedIn. Make sure you check him out, and all the links are trickling down below, so make sure you hit him up. And guess what? I'm going to do one even better for you. I'm going to copy all of his connection information, and I'm going to put him on your side of the comment. So if you want to get connected with him, all you got to do is click on his link. Okay, there you go. It's right there. All right, fantastic. So Rob, let's give him some secret sauce before we go, because we've got something coming up tomorrow that we want to let each and every one of you know about. This is the Clubhouse. Robert, you want to tell them a little bit about it?
Yes, absolutely. So tomorrow we are going to be in Clubhouse, which is the fastest growing social audio platform on the planet. So if you're first just hearing about Clubhouse, hello, we're in a new world now. Social media has now moved to social audio. Why is this good? It gives everybody a voice. So we're going to be talking about the benefits of social audio, how you can use that to leverage your brand, how you can use that to get noticed, the importance of all of the bits of business that are going to help you be successful. And I'm going to be talking to Lotus, getting her, switching the mic around, learning a little bit more about her, and her career and her nuggets and everything else in between. So it's not one to be missed. I'm super excited. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Robert. And for all of you folks that's out there, if you're been a part of anything that I've done in the past, this is not going to be a blast from the past. This is going to be a blast to the future. That's right, a blast to the future with my friend Robert Hanna, all the way from the UK. What can we say? So be sure to look on my page today, and you'll see the link for Clubhouse for you to join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself and Robert. And look, I've got people clicking in already. So with that being said, we're on the way out, no doubt. But Robert, let's go ahead and give them your final words of wisdom as we close the broadcast.
I would just say there's three things that I would want you to remember. If you don't risk anything, you risk everything. And remember this, pressure is a privilege. And lastly, what a famous monk once said, if it can be solved, why worry? If it can't be solved, why worry? So I hope they help. It's been an absolute pleasure, honor being here. I've loved your community. I've loved being part of the show, Lotus. What you're doing is just so wonderful. And please do connect with me on LinkedIn and various social media handles. I'd love to keep in touch with you all. And I'm sure we're going to do many more things in the future together. But thank you so, so much.
Wait, I muted myself. So Angie said, if you want to get noticed, see Lotus and Robert on Clubhouse tomorrow. It's going to be phenomenal. And make sure you connect with Robert, and we will see you on the other side of 15 Minutes of Success. We'll see you next time. Stand by, Robert. Thank you for watching the show, and be sure to follow us on Instagram. Like and share, and let us know that you care. Also, let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present just for you. Thank you.